he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Well, hey guys, welcome to the Think Tank. So we are going to go over, I think his name is pronounced Majorjon Kaylor. So we're going to go over his probable cause this morning. This is another one of those cases that is coming out of, let me see here, that is coming out of arrest warrant, Kellogg County of Shoshone, Idaho. That's what I was looking for. I just had to double check. So this is out of Idaho. And I thought we should go through it. There's been a lot happening as far as some other cases there. So I thought it might not be a bad idea just to see what else is hiding in them there hills. So this is the state of Idaho, County of Shoshone. So I, Detective Justin Klitsch, been first duly sworn, state that I am the same person whose name is subscribed to the attached criminal citation, felony, and that my answers to the questions asked by the court with reference to said arrest are as follows. On June 18th, 2023, at approximately 19:20 hours, a 911 call came into the Shoshone County Dispatch. If anybody knows how to say that properly, we all know how I am with pronunciation of some names. Can give me an idea of how to pronounce this, I'd feel a lot better. So the dispatch called alleging shots fired in the area of 515 Brown Avenue, Kellogg, Shoshone County, Idaho. Shortly thereafter, a second call was received by dispatch, and that an individual had executed his neighbor, Sergeant Jared Bilasacki of Shoshone County Sheriff's Office. He arrived on the scene at 19:24 hours and observed two individuals later identified as Majorjon A. Kaylor and redacted in the street at the location of 515 Brown Avenue in Kellogg, Idaho. Kaylor told Sergeant Bilasacki that he had shot and deleted his neighbors. At approximately 19:57 hours, Idaho State Police Detective Justin Klitsch, was advised and requested to respond to the 515 Brown Avenue, Kellogg, Shoshone County, Idaho location. I would arrive at the scene of the homicide at approximately 21:35 hours and assume investigatory duties at the location. During my communications en route to the scene and after initial investigative activities, once on location, I would come to learn the following. The four past victims were Kenneth R. Guardapi, Kenneth L. Guardapi, Devin R. Smith and A. redacted S. redacted. The suspect, Majorjon A. Kaylor, redacted, was detained prior to my arrival. A few days prior to the incident, the suspect's wife, Kaylee M. Kaylor, and then redacted, had made a post on Facebook describing an incident between her daughters, and Devin Smith. At her post, in her post, Kaylee Kaylor indicated Devin Smith had exposed himself, shaking himself and doing different things through a window in front of her and her juvenile daughters. The address of 515 West Brown Avenue, Kellogg, Idaho, is a 2-story residential apartment building with 2 apartments designated as Apartment A and Apartment B. The apartment could be described as a tan or light yellowish color with a brown colored trim. Apartment A is ground level, known to be occupied by the 4 listed victims. Apartment B is a 2nd-story apartment known to be occupied by Kaylor, his wife, and their 3 children. The apartment building has 2 garages attached, which are accessed by exterior doors. It is suspected that one garage belongs to apartment A and the other apartment to B. The apartment building has 2 vehicle driveway directly in front of the attached garages. In the driveway is a black 2022 Dodge Ram, plate number S74320, registered to Kaylee Kaylor and Majorjon Kaylor at green, and a green 2001 Subaru Forester plate S73296, registered to Kenneth Guardapi. This is a paved area along the west side of the apartment building where a white 2002 Subaru Forester plate SA2046, registered to Kenneth Guardapi, was parked. Devin Smith and A. redacted S. redacted victims were found inside apartment A, and Kenneth Guardapi and Kenneth Guardapi were found deceased outside near an entrance doorway or stairway to apartment A. The location and situations of the body are follows. Kenneth Guardapi was lying face up next to the rear exterior concrete steps to the apartment, with an apparent gunshot wound to her right temple, and appeared to have been fired within close proximity. Kenneth Guardapi was found partially on the concrete steps and partially in the green area next to the steps. He also had an apparent wound to the right temple, which appeared to have been fired at close proximity based on the entry wound. There were multiple .45 caliber casings in the immediate vicinity of both Kenneth Guardapi and Kenna Guardapi. The interior of apartment A redacted, S redacted, was found lying face down on his stomach between the kitchen and living room with a shot wound to the right temple area that appeared to be fired in close proximity based on the entry wound. There was one .45 caliber firearm casing found near A redacted, S redacted body. Devin Smith was found in the eastern bedroom of apartment A behind the bedroom door on his knees, face down, also with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. There were multiple .45 caliber firearm casings found in the bedroom where Devin Smith was located. Once on the scene, I conducted a brief interview with Kaylor. I read Kaylor his Miranda rights. During the course of our interview, Kaylor stated he was suspicious and concerned for his children as one of the victims, Devin Smith, had been acting suspicious, watching his kids and conducting acts that just don't need to be around children. Kaylor referred to Devin Smith as a file. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Kaylor had confronted Devin Smith's mother, Kenneth Guardapi, and his grandfather, Kenneth Guardapi, and was upset that they didn't seem to take his concerns with Devin Smith seriously. Kaylor said he snapped, he lost it, and did something about it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Here we go, guys. Sorry. Rehydrating. I then interviewed Kaylee Kaylor. In summary, Kaylor indicated the 4 victims had recently moved into the apartment, and she observed Devin Smith fully unclothed, holding his blah, blah, blah in front of her and playing with it in front of her juvenile daughter through a window on the previous Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. The police had responded and investigated the incident on June 18th, 2023 at approximately 1800 hours. An argument occurred between Kaylor, and Kenneth Guardapi, which was later confirmed by video surveillance obtained from an adjacent business building, which captured pertinent portions of this incident. Kaylor indicated Kaylor had had a holstered weapon on his person, which he put on after arriving from work and before going outside with the family to water plants in the backyard. Now, this backyard area is shared by both apartments. So Kaylor indicated she had possession of this weapon, which she described as black and heavy prior to Kaylor getting home from work. She indicated Kaylor and herself were standing in the backyard outside the near back door of apartment A, arguing with Kenneth Guardapi about the inappropriate behavior of her son, Devin Smith, and their lack of taking the situation seriously. She appeared concerned that there would be no consequences for Devin Smith's actions, either by law enforcement or Devin Smith's family. What you guys hear in the background is my chinchillas running up a storm on their wheels. I do like, because some of my animals are nocturnal and some of them aren't. I always have someone to visit with when I get up. Okay, so Kaylor indicated she was standing near Kaylor and heard shots. Observed Kenneth Guardapi fall to the ground, then saw Kenneth Guardapi fall to the ground. Kaylor then ran upstairs to her apartment and heard additional shots. She did not remember seeing Kaylor holding the weapon. Kaylor indicated both Kenneth Guardapi and Kenneth Guardapi were unharmed. Kaylor further noted that Kaylor said he did what he had to do and to tell their kids he protected them. Kaylor said that after Kaylor handed her his phone, his keys, and wallet and asked her to hold on to them, she said she placed both a belt, holster, and weapon in the back Dodge truck parked outside. She said she overheard Kaylor talking on the phone, saying he had deleted 4 people. I asked Kaylor if she and Kaylor had talked to each other about what they were going to do if an incident were to happen, and she indicated Kaylor had already told the police that if something like this, referring to the indecent exposure, that Kaylor was going to take care of it, which she indicated she interpreted as more like attacking someone. Kaylor said that Kaylor had shared an iconic picture of a guy in the town who uses the weapon on a bad guy who Ard, his daughter. I would later come to learn that Kaylee Kaylor was referring to Gary Plouche, who on camera television used the weapon and deleted a man who was suspected of a bunch of different things that was happening to Gary's daughter. It was discovered Kaylee Kaylor had shared a black and white meme type message which had the words "How to Catch a Predator" and a drawing of a man at the telephone booth deleting another man. On scene, I observed a belt, holster, and semi-automatic weapon in the front driver's seat of the black Dodge, Idaho plates S74320, which could be seen through the window of the Dodge. I later reviewed the above referenced surveillance video from a nearby business that corroborated that an altercation/argument had taken place at the location, which can be heard in the audio portion of the video. The audio also reveals what sounds like multiple shots being fired. Prior to the weapon being used, the audio portion of the video reveals over 5 minutes of what sounded like loud argument or a confrontation between Kaylee Kaylor, and someone else who, based on Kaylee Kaylor's statement, I suspect to be Kenna L. Guardapi. From the statement of events relayed by Kaylee Kaylor, corroborated by circumstantial evidence and Kaylor's own comments, it would appear that after making 2 similarly placed shots at the temple area of both Kenna Guardapi and Kenneth Guardapi Taylor, Kaylor entered the residence of apartment A, where he shot and deleted both A and S redacted, and it further appeared redacted was point blank or near point blank range while lying on the floor in a prone position. All the victims appeared to have only been, the weapon had only been used once, with exception of Devin Smith, who the weapon was used multiple times at close range. The audio from the video surveillance appears to show multiple seconds passed between the time Kenneth Guardapi and Kenna Guardapi were likely deleted, when A redacted, S redacted was likely deleted, and also between the time that A redacted, S redacted was likely deleted, and Devin Smith was likely deleted. As part of the execution of a search warrant, I conducted a search of the black 2022 Dodge Ram, plate S74320, and removed a .45 caliber high-point semi-automatic weapon, which was holstered and secured with a snap and attached to the belt. Upon examination of this firearm, it was discovered that the pistol had 1 bullet in the chamber and 5 were in the magazine. There were what appeared to be both red and tissue on the weapon, consistent with a close range usage of this weapon. I also located an empty magazine under the seat of the truck based on the evidence collected, specifically the magazine capacities, and empty shell casings, and or reload magazines in order to continue using the weapon and discharge it. A number of rounds which were identified to have been fired during the deletings. This investigation is ongoing, but at this time there appears to be sufficient evidence to support criminal charges for deleting in the first degree for each of the 4 victims and burglary on June 19th, 2023. So Kaylor was booked into the Shoshone County Jail on 4 counts of first degree and 2 counts of burglary. The name of the declarant and dates must be typed below before electronic submission to the court. And it was dated June 19th, printed name Justin Klitsch, and signature of sorts right there. Of sorts. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I found it rather interesting. Idaho seems to be going through a lot right now, don't it? So that's what I have for you first thing this morning. Plan on putting out a little bit more content through the day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications and that thumb to help me stay in the algorithm. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.